First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my dad it's not my fault his family's broken and he should blame himself? I'm my dad's oldest child and his only child from his marriage to my mom. My mom was unable to have children after she had me, and my dad always wanted more. So he cheated and slept around, and eventually he and his current wife started an affair which came out when I was 12. She was 6 months pregnant when me and my mom learned the truth. She also had 3 kids already with a different guy or guys. He thought everything would be perfect from day one. He expected me to love his new wife and the other kids, and we would be a picture-perfect family. But I was pissed. Not gonna lie, and I didn't accept his wife or his kids or my half-brother when he was born, or for a long time after it. They would enforce family time, and it always sucked. One day, when I was 16, I told them I was there to see my dad, not play families or go along with the charade anymore. And we weren't a family, and I didn't give a crap about any of them except my dad. I think I also might have told him that he was number 1 on my crap list, but maybe I said that after he pulled me aside. I stopped going to his house after that, and there were no more attempts made at being a family. His wife's kids were super upset and extra pissed that I would dare deny them or not want to spend time with them. My dad and I have a rocky and mostly estranged relationship now. The last time we talked for real was 4 years ago when I graduated high school. But the other night, he showed up and told me it was all my fault, that everything was so broken because of what I said that day. He told me all he wanted was his family to be happy, but I wouldn't let it happen. I refused to let him blame me. So I told him it was not my fault. I was a kid who was thrown into a crappy situation after having her family broken up. I told him it was his fault and he should think about that. He tried to argue, so I said he was the cheating piece of ish who thought he could get everything he wanted. I told him it was dumb to expect me to love the woman he cheated with day one and jump up and down because she had kids. And that things rarely, if ever, work out that way when you create a family through cheating and humiliating someone, the way he humiliated my mom by bringing up her infertility. I finished by calling him a crappy person. Am I the a-hole? Did I go too far? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your father sounds self-centered and like one of those parents that piously tell themselves that they have a right to move on and find happiness, yet refuse to accept that they have no possible right to dictate how others feel. Your father wants you to go along with this game of happy families because, if you do, he can pat himself on the back and tell himself that he did nothing wrong, that it has all worked out for the best. By not playing along with the idea that you love his affair partner and her brood, you make it harder for him to pretend that his selfishness did not hurt you. Right? It's all about getting what he wants and making him look good. It's like all the hurt and pain he caused didn't matter if I was able and willing to embrace the mistakes he made and love the people he brought into my life through his crappy and messed up actions. Precisely. He is fighting against the idea that he did something wrong when he cheated on your mother and chose to put his desire to have additional children ahead of his responsibility to the child he already had. He wants you to tell him that you're happy and that you love his new family because that would allow him to tell himself that, ultimately, he did the right thing for everybody. You owe him nothing, least of all absolution. I think the worst thing about all, that is, even after it all exploded in his face and he lost me, he still doesn't want to try and fix his relationship with me. He just wants me to slide into the family he thinks he deserves and love, or even fake love them to make himself feel better. He doesn't care enough to put work into his relationship with me. Thankfully, I am in a much better place than when I was 16, but man, would it have broken me to know he would still not care about his relationship with me 6 years later. I would have been so heartbroken. Not the a-hole. He needs to take some personal responsibility if he wants a relationship with you. It's not even about this relationship with me. He still wants us to be one big happy Brady Bunch style blended family. More than anything, I think he wants to believe his wife and her kids and I would all try to have a relationship and that I would declare my love for them and say I didn't mean what I said when I was 16. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for not forcing my son to go meet his real dad after 11 years? My son's father has basically said since the moment I got pregnant that my boy is not his, even though DNA was determined. The courts forced him to pay child support versus terminating his rights. The only reason this happened was because he said some questionable crap to the judge and she became salty about it. Examples: why the hell do I have to pay for a kid I don't want? Or, no, I'm not paying for him. She should have terminated. This obviously pissed off everyone in the courtroom, and the judge immediately awarded child support in my favor to spite him, in my opinion. During this, I was actually asking that his rights be terminated, and I did not request child support of any kind. The judge went against what I wanted as well. For 9 years, he has paid $136 a month for child support. During the months of October through March, we have never received anything. That means he has a lot of back child support owed. I have never contacted the state about this, as I can do without his money. Well, apparently, CPS reached out to him with a notice stating that he owes over $12,000 in back child support. From what he claims, I didn't see the notice. They did not contact me. Somehow, he found my number and called me stating that he wants to have half custody of my son. He wants a week-on, week-off visitation established. When I asked him why, his response was, well, it'll drop my child support payments, and since I'm paying for him, I have rights to him, huh? I said no. That's no reason to want to be involved with my son after 11 years. If he had said, I just want to meet him, I'm ready to be a dad, I would have said yes. Despite me already saying no, I spoke to my son about it to see how he felt. He said that he didn't want to meet him right now. My ex continued to blow my phone up to say he was bringing me back to court, and that the judge would rule in his favor because he makes more money than I do. He doesn't know how much money I make, and this was a guess on his part. He says that I'm a dumpsy for denying him rights to his son. I think he is an ignorant a-hole for trying to use my son as a way to get out of child support, and that, if it weren't for that fact alone, he wouldn't want anything to do with him anyways. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, obviously. Keep all texts and voice messages from him. This and lawyer up. Not the a-hole. Agreed with all of this. If he calls you again, get something to record the entire conversation with. Though, check to see what the laws in your area are regarding recording someone without their permission. Additionally, if you can afford it, I would get a psychologist or licensed therapist, one who has experience dealing with children in situations like this. And if they have courtroom experience, even better, to talk with your son about stuff like this. This way, you might be able to get an official letter or recommendation that you can submit to the courts to help solidify your case. Not the a-hole. By all means, go back to court. The judge will almost certainly increase child support dramatically if he's making so much money now, and slam the a-hole for blatantly trying to weaponize visitation. Also, $136 a month is like a slightly more expensive internet plan in the US. Definitely not enough to feed and clothe an 11-year-old. He needs to pay more. Not the a-hole. He's been missing a lot more than $136 a month if he's $12,000 in arrears. Joint custody doesn't always negate child support obligations. Sounds like he's just blowing smoke. If your son doesn't want to meet him and there is no visitation order in place, I wouldn't force him to visit. See, I didn't see this notice that he claims he got stating that he is $12,000 in arrears. So there's a good chance he is lying about it. Much like he does everything else. In the first 2 years of my son's life, he was supposed to be paying $380 a month because he owned part of his dad's business. I'm not sure when they lowered the payments when I didn't receive a notice about anything, but I'm assuming he either quit the job or went under the table to get them lowered the way he did. If you are in the US, they must be threatening to suspend his driver's license or another professional license. Or, where I live, you can't get a hunting license with child support in arrears in some counties. Oh boy, does it become a big deal then. Pretty much. We are in the US. He is super big into hunting and fishing, so that's probably the exact reason for all of this. Especially if he can't get a license with his child support arrears. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for canceling dinner plans to celebrate with my daughter because my stepson was upset? My daughter, 13, and stepson, 11, have not gotten along since my daughter moved in. She had previously lived with her mother, but I got default custody after her mother turned one of her 24-hour disappearing acts into a never-coming-back one. My daughter and stepson go to the same middle school and were both running for student council vice president. There was tension in the house, and my wife told my stepson that if he won, we could go out to celebrate. My daughter asked if this applied to her as well. since he wasn't her only competitor, and my wife said, of course. The campaign got pretty stressful for the both of them. Then the votes come in, and my daughter wins by 4 votes. However, because somehow the one person who ran for treasurer this year dropped out because of grades, my stepson was offered that position. He saw it as a really pitiful consolation prize and was angry that he had to take orders from my daughter. I felt very bad for my stepson, and he and his mother, who is also very type A, was very upset, even though of course my wife congratulated my daughter. My stepson refused to be comforted by the fact that older kids get more easily elected because they know more people, and his mother even offered to take her to her law office and give him some responsibilities, saying that was better experience than student council would ever be. My stepson then said, "Please tell me you're not going to rub it in my face by taking us to dinner now." My wife also looks really reluctant to go to dinner. I finally tell my daughter that we weren't going to be going to dinner because her stepbrother was very upset by the turn of events, and we need to take his feelings into consideration. And that I was impolite to gloat. That all happened Friday. My daughter ended up crying, and even now, Sunday night, she is still mad at all of us. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Yes, you're the a-hole. You broke a promise first of all, which, while minor to us adults, is a huge deal to kids. And also, you showed your daughter that, even if incorrectly, you prefer your stepson to her. Ideally, you should have gone to dinner together like promised, and then had a separate outing for the stepson to console him after his loss. Your daughter is likely already reeling from her mother piecing out permanently, and her reaction is probably a combination of you going back on a promise and a residual hurt of being abandoned by a loved one. Wouldn't surprise me at least. She's your daughter. Make it up to her. Maybe even one-on-one with you and her doing something she loves to do. And your wife is an a-hole too. Her behaviors towards your daughter are questionable just from the post. She's an adult. Why was she sulking over keeping a promise to a kid, which was very simple, going to dinner together to celebrate? That shows your daughter that her stepmom doesn't care for her successes. That's a bad precedent to set. This was a real teaching moment to the stepson about being gracious in defeat. Instead, he taught his daughter that her achievements don't mean crap. I mean, this whole dynamic doesn't really sound like a cohesive family unit. It feels like a single mother with her son and a single father with his daughter living together. If the stepson was really that upset about it, but I'll reiterate, teaching moment for losing gracefully. Why couldn't Opie just go one-on-one with his daughter? Why does the whole thing have to be cancelled? So yeah, you're the a-hole, Opie. Exactly this. Why would you waste this opportunity to teach kids? You knew one of them would lose and one would be disappointed. This cannot be a surprise. Also, son will get 2 years of extra chances after his sis moves to high school. He should be pleased that she gets a go before graduating. He gets extra practice at other positions to make him a better committee member in the long run. Go to dinner and celebrate/commiserate. Daughter rubbing son's face in her win would be crappy, but it doesn't sound like that will be a problem. The part about him being angry about having to take orders from his stepsister is icing on the cake. Maybe point out to him that it isn't taking orders, but a fun opportunity for the two of them to work together. This coupled with impolite to gloat and putting his feeling ahead of hers just reeks of good old-fashioned sexism. The daughter is learning her place, and that's a terrible lesson. You're the a-hole. Massive, massive, massive you're the a-hole. Your daughter worked her butt off to win the spot, and you let her whiny, jealous, sore loser stepbrother ruin the celebration for her accomplishment. You showed your daughter that her hard work and accomplishments mean nothing to you, and showed your stepson that throwing a fit will get him whatever the F he wants, no matter who it hurts. Terrible parenting. Absolute garbage. You have one and only one chance to fix this. You tell your daughter you messed up majorly, and you were incredibly sorry, and will try your best to not do things like that again, and that she now gets 2 dinners out, one to celebrate, and one as an apology. Then sit your wife and stepson down. Tell them both that every accomplishment deserves to be celebrated, and that all 3 of you owe your daughter an apology, and you will be taking her out for the 2 dinners. If they choose to apologize, they can go with you. If they refuse to apologize, they can keep their sore loser butts at home. Then, get in family therapy freaking ASAP. First, Opie definitely the a-hole. Second, this comment is a perfect response and I completely agree. Your poor daughter is dealing with so much right now, and you can't even recognize her for doing something as amazing as winning class vice president? That is disgusting. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe. Update. Am I the a-hole for refusing my mother's proposal for family's therapy after she neglected me for 18 years? Original post. For a bit of background, my mother cheated on her husband and had me. They divorced, and my mother's affair partner left her alone. I grew up with my mother hating me, truly believing that I was the reason her life was ruined, and she never missed a chance to remind me that it was all my fault, and that no one would ever love or care about me. This went on for 18 years, and on the day of my 18th birthday, I left that house. After insulting her and wishing for her death, I walked away without a second thought or looking back. 12 years later, she first tried to send me a text explaining that she was wrong, that she had gone to therapy, that she understood her mistakes, and that she was asking for my forgiveness. My reply was simply, "Oh, you're still alive? What a shame." Clear enough, but apparently not. She actually had the guts to show up at my gym. After I finished my boxing training, I saw her in the parking lot. My rage started to build, and when I tried to ignore her and put my bag in the back of my car, she came closer. Her first words, "This is your car? Wow, you must be very successful. I'm so proud of my son." Believe me, my rage is always there, but for some reason when I heard this, it skyrocketed beyond what I could have imagined. I was extremely close to knocking her out and walking away as if nothing had happened, but somehow I didn't. I just told her to cut the BS and tell me what the heck she wanted. She looked at me like I was some kind of crazy person and said she missed me and wanted to make peace because she had gone to therapy, realized her mistakes, and was there to ask for forgiveness and to try to have her son back. I replied by saying that her son was dead and that she wasn't my mother anymore because I was no longer that scared kid she once knew. I told her that now, I was just a guy with mental health issues, anger issues, and trust issues, all thanks to her and the amazing way she raised me. Of course, she started crying and again asked for forgiveness. She admitted that I was right, that it was all her fault, and that she understood how much damage she had caused me. But I cut her off and told her, "No, you don't understand the damage you caused me. You can't understand it at all." This pathetic scene went on for 5 minutes before I asked her what the heck she really wanted. My money? My car? My house? My organs? My life? Through her tears, she said she was sincere, and all she wanted was family therapy because I miss you. I can only imagine what I did to you, but I'm here to ask for your forgiveness and to see if we can be a family again instead of two strangers. Out of patience, I told her that only when I was completely insane would I forgive her, and since I wasn't yet, she could do whatever she wanted. Talk as much as she wanted, but I would never change my mind. I still stand by what I said on my 18th birthday, and she could never change that. I pushed her away from my car while she was crying and just drove away. Now, to be honest, I didn't feel revenge, happiness, or anything after saying those words to her. I didn't feel anything at all. I was just stating the truth. As always, I talked about this with my friend, and this time, he told me I was completely wrong. Because to him, she was sincere, and from the words she used, she genuinely seemed sorry and really wanted to reconnect with me. He thinks I should give her at least one chance. So, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole, but please talk with someone about the feelings you are having. You are not wrong, but you are allowing this woman to continue to rob you of a happy and healthy life. You deserve better. Thanks for your words, but even without my mother, my life isn't happy and healthy. Like I said, I have mental issues, trust issues, and anger issues. She can't do anything worse, but I'm just in disbelief at her courage to pretend that after all the stuff I went through, I would accept her and believe her. Please get some individual therapy. Not for her, but to make your life better. If she keeps bothering you, find out if you can get a restraining order. Your friend is wrong. You owe her nothing. And I am a mother myself. She was a horrible mother. Now that she's getting older, she's thinking about who's going to take care of her. She cares about herself, and I think she's trying to manipulate you. Not the a-hole. Tell her you'll forgive her when she can go back in time and fix all the damage she did to you. You should consider therapy, not for her, but for yourself. I lived with physical and emotional abuse myself, and believe me, it stays with you. I wish you well, OP. I'm sorry you went through that. Only you know your next moves, but your friend is incorrect. She just went 12 years, well over a decade, ignoring you. Block her and record video if she comes around you. You can get a restraining order against her for harassment. Don't make it obvious until you have at least 5 days worth of evidence. She can't keep showing up around you if you don't want her to. Now for the first update. Please tell me all of this is a freaking joke, and I'm in some kind of nightmare and I freaking need to wake up, because this is absolutely freaking ridiculous. I sincerely thought that my mother would drop it and just leave me the heck alone, but somehow she didn't, and now she's even used a TV show for her pathetic move. We're not in an English-speaking country. Believe me, I'm still confused and shocked. After my last encounter with her, which failed miserably, I don't even get how or why she was expecting something different. She decided to go on a TV program for this BS. A few hours ago, my friend sent me a video of her on a TV show trying to tell her story. She admitted that she was a bad mother, that she did therapy, that she was ready to do anything to be forgiven, how sorry she was, and all types of BS. The TV show is one of those where people try to reconnect with friends, parents, and all kinds of people, basically telling their story and hoping for reconciliation. Now seriously, how desperate is my mother to even consider this nonsense? I mean, I told her last time to leave me the heck alone, and that I didn't want to have the slightest relationship with her, and now she pulls this pathetic move. Really? I'm starting to think she's more screwed up than me at this point. How the heck do I convince her that she will forever be a horrible mother and that her son died, and I don't want anything to do with her? For real, how difficult is that to understand? Now, rage aside, I watched that pathetic show and discovered more about why she's insisting so much. Apparently, my father and my mother have been back together for 10 years, and now they want their family back. My father already has 2 kids, both boys, and now he and my mother want me back to play happy family. Freaking clowns. If they think that after this I would change my mind, they don't know me at all. There is no reason in this world that would ever make me change my mind. The only good thing about this whole pathetic and ridiculous show is that, when I saw it, I laughed. But it wasn't a simple laugh like any other. It was different, like my mind started to go crazy. So finally, in 2 hours, I will see a psychiatrist because I am genuinely scared of myself, and I think now is the moment to finally sort things out. I hope I don't have to update you again, because I don't want to be part of this ridiculous circus. I just want to be left the heck alone and live my life alone. Okay, so here's what you do. You stay calm. You don't curse, scream, or show any anger when the TV show contacts you. What you do is simple. You tell them your mother is unwell, that she is incapable of love, empathy, or compassion, and really should be under the care of mental health professionals, and that you're disgusted that the TV show would exploit such a deranged and delusional woman for ratings. Then you make it clear, you no longer have parents. You will never appear on their show. You will not hesitate to expose the TV show for exploiting a mentally unwell woman if they refuse to leave you alone. The TV show would welcome any lengthy reply to add drama. Simply say nothing and hang up. If they persist, then go the lawyer route with a cease and desist. Definitely send them a cease and desist letter and tell them that you are going to get a restraining order against both of them if they don't leave you the heck alone or if they send any TV crews to harass you. Send a copy of the letter to that TV show and let them know that you are going to take legal action against them if they keep airing that crap without your consent. Oh, and therapy is definitely a good thing. All the best. OP could also use that C and D letter to ask that the episode be pulled from the air, as it could be considered harassment and make the show liable to a lawsuit too. Second update. For Pete's sake, here we are again in this pathetic charade of nonsense. I followed one of your pieces of advice and filed for a restraining order against my mom and my family just today. And what happened? Not only did my mother show up again at my gym, but this time she brought my father too. For some reason I can't and don't want to understand, but this time, things got heated and almost ended badly physically. Like the last time, my mom showed up at my gym when I was going to my car, and I noticed a man with her. I immediately understood that he was my bio father. My mother, seeing me, started crying again and trying to guilt-trip me by saying that she even tried to convince me she had changed by telling her story on that TV show, and she didn't know what else she could do. I directly told her that the only thing she needed to do for me was to disappear from my life and off herself. Only then would she finally be useful for something. She started crying even more, sobbing and yelling, "What the heck can I do to be forgiven? What? How can I prove to you that I've changed? How?" I didn't understand why this pathetic circus of yelling and crying was even happening, since I have always told her that she was the reason for all my problems, and that I would forgive her only when I was insane. But this time, my father came into the scene too. I put my bag into the car, opened the door, and was about to leave when he blocked me and started yelling at me about how I could make my mother so desperate and make her cry so much. Out of what little patience I had left, I closed the door and walked straight up to his face, telling him to stay out of this, since he was a perfect stranger to me and a coward, a man who abandoned a pregnant woman, escaping his responsibilities and leaving my mother to unload all her frustrations and rage onto a freaking innocent child. I kept walking toward him, face to face, making him step back, telling him how he was everything but a man, not a decent human being, and the last person on this freaking planet who had any right to talk to me. Believe me this time, even more than the last, I was really close to unloading 30 years of rage onto him. Not only did he fail to realize what kind of piece of turd he was, but he actually had the guts to provoke me even more by saying that this wasn't the right tone to use with my father. I couldn't help it. I just laughed out loud, hard. I repeated about 20 times, "A father? A father?" Apparently my laugh enraged him even more. When I stopped laughing and turned my back, trying to finally leave this pathetic nonsense, I noticed his shadow. He was about to attack me. Fortunately, I reacted quickly and caught his hand, but this time, I let out a bit of my rage. I didn't beat the crap out of him, but I started twisting his hand hard. I just stood there, calmly twisting it while my mother, still crying, was screaming at me to stop hurting him. It went on for a few seconds until he started yelling that I was hurting him and begging me to stop. I continued until he finally said, Okay, we won't bother you, just stop it." So I released him. I looked at his hand. It was a mix of red and violet, and then I drove away. I canceled my psychiatric appointment yesterday because I'm still not ready. Besides, apart from this, something else happened today, and I felt something strange. So first, I want to figure that out before I finally decide about therapy. Believe me, I don't know what else to do. I have told my mother in every possible way that I hate her and want her to off herself. I filed a restraining order today. More than this, what the heck am I supposed to do? Because I'm sure this isn't over. See if the gym has cameras that caught the interaction. Being he tried to attack you first, you were just defending yourself. Hopefully, the gym caught it on camera and you can use that to help get a restraining order. Actually, this is a good advice. We'll do this. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom I won't take care of her when she's old after she abandoned me as a kid? My 29 female was raised by my dad after my mom walked out on us when I was 6. She left to find herself and started a new family with another man. She barely kept in touch. No birthdays, no holidays, not even a call when I graduated college. For most of my life, I accepted that she didn't want to be my mom, and I moved on. Fast forward to a few months ago, out of nowhere she reached out. At first, I thought maybe she wanted to reconnect and apologize for the past, but nope. She told me she was struggling financially. Her health wasn't great, and she needed someone to step up and take care of her. Apparently, her husband left, and her other kids weren't in a position to help. I told her flat out no. I wasn't going to play caretaker for someone who abandoned me. I reminded her that she made her choice years ago, and I don't owe her anything. She got mad and started crying, saying, "But I'm still your mother. You can't just throw me away like I'm nothing." I don't feel guilty. She made her bed, and now she has to lie in it. But part of me wonders if I really am being too harsh. We share the same blood after all. Now for the top comments. Why are you even talking to her if she abandoned you as a kid? I really thought she would reconcile with me, but it seems she just contacted me because she needed something. Not the a-hole. You don't owe her anything. She made her bed. Time to sleep in it. I was willing to forgive her, if not for the ulterior motive behind why she wants to reconnect with me. Unfortunately, she still isn't interested in being your mother. If she was, that would be a relationship to consider. That isn't what is happening here. Don't let unresolved feelings of wanting your mother's approval and love take you down the path of becoming her caretaker. And don't let a sense of guilt be the reason either. She has no shame for deserting you. If she didn't want or need something, she would not have gotten in touch with you. I am sorry if this sounds harsh. You sound like a compassionate person, and wanting a relationship with your mother is something that you hope for. I just don't think you will find what you are looking for. Not the a-hole. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not making my son give rides to his stepsister to and from school? I, 45 male, share 3 kids with my ex, 16 male, 14 male, and 11 female. We divorced 10 years ago. My ex, D, remarried 8 years ago and has another biological daughter, 7 female, and a stepdaughter, 14. My kids have never really gotten along with their stepsister. She pretty much gets whatever she wants. She has always had her own room and bathroom at their mom's house, while my daughter had to share with her brothers. She does not do chores and expects my kids to do whatever she asks them to do. Things have been really bad the last 2 years, and a little over a year ago, my oldest came to live with me full-time. A few months later, his brother followed. My oldest turned 16 back in December, and I bought a car for him. My only request was that he take his brother and sister, my kids, to school, which he agreed to do. My sons and their stepsister go to the same school. Not long after I got him the car, Dee started asking that my son take his stepsister to and from school. My ex's neighborhood is on the route to school from my house. He refused. My ex tried to make me force him to do it, but I refused. Well, last month, we had a winter storm come in. The first round was not supposed to be bad, so there was school, but the weather quickly got worse than predicted, so the school let out early. My sons were walking to the car with a friend to head to my house. Their stepsister was standing near the car with a friend and was on her phone. She told my son, "Mom says she cannot come get us, so we need to ride with you." My son refused. She handed my son the phone, and my ex was on the line. She demanded that my son give his stepsister and her friend a ride. She was across town getting groceries before the storm got worse. He refused. His stepsister started yelling at him. He ignored her, and they got in the car to leave. She and her friend got in front of the car so he couldn't move. He honked his horn and told them to get the heck out of the way. They eventually did, and my son left her and her friend at the school. A teacher saw the incident, so we were called by the administration about it. We told them what happened. My sons were not in trouble, but they said, "We need to work out this family conflict." Afterwards, my ex and her husband tried to talk to me and blamed me. I told them, "It isn't my fault y'all raised an entitled brat no one likes. Y'all have enabled her behavior for years. I have tried to get y'all to address it, but I am done. Until you stop being a worthless mother and stepdad, I do not want to hear anything from either one of you. D, your own sons despise you. That is all on you." Then we left. I have not spoken to my ex since. I do feel bad for my daughter because tensions have been high at my ex's house, and she is there half the time. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Well, if it isn't the consequences of their inaction biting them in the butt. Not the a-hole.
Your ex chose her stepdaughter over her own kids. She chose her new husband over her own children. His daughter is just an extension of him in her eyes, while her children with OP are an extension of him and an unwanted reminder to her new husband that he came after OP. OP's kids basically remind stepfather and mom that he is getting OP's sloppy seconds. And of course, she doesn't want to lose another husband, so she is going to favor his children over her ex's children. Not the a-hole.